I'm here with Sybil, and Sybil is a client of mine. I asked Sybil if we could do an interview of her because she illustrates the importance of planning in advance for long-term care needs, and she also will be able to let you know what it's like to go through the Medi-Cal process of trying to get benefits for nursing home care. So, hello, Sybil.
Hi.
Hi. Could you please talk about what it is that inspired you to give me a call in the first place?
I was already in a nightmare situation. My husband had taken a fall, and we were told he would not be coming home. That was not going to ever be an option for him. And at that point, he went from intensive care into a nursing home. And I was told by the nursing home, fill out, apply for Medi-Cal. We have suffered, like so many, great financial losses over the past few years. And so I blindly, with my friend, filled out the Medi-Cal forms. It wasn't even totally filled out. And they said, don't worry about it, we'll call you if we need more information. Well, I got denied. And they asked me specific answers. I got denied again. Now, meanwhile, I'm in a panic because I am not in a position to afford the cost of a nursing home. And meanwhile, the nursing home is becoming very mean, very abusive. And my concern also was, are they being that way at my husband as well? Or is this saved from me? I mean, they were just nightmares at me. And I had already looked into finding somebody to help me with the application. I was given the name by a different nursing home of a firm who was going to help me, and meanwhile we're getting notices saying he's going to be evicted for lack of payment. So at that point I said, well, we have like a week to get evicted. Right. And I had come up with your name from a friend who lives in Culver City, and they had gone over to the Senior Citizen Center, who highly recommended you. And I called you, and you came right over. And it was still the threatening every month, the nursing home treating me very poorly.
Sybil, why was it that you weren't able to have your husband come back to your home and take care of him here with some type of in-home care?
Well, I am legally blind, so I have many issues of my own. And it's a two-story house, and even if it wasn't, there's no way I can do what sadly has become diapers and medication for someone. I need help myself with driving and with other issues. I certainly can't be, except in the eyes of California, I can't be responsible for another person. That was part of the argument. They felt that because I was mentally competent. I also have gone through cancer this last year.
So you can't, like many of the people that I help, be a caregiver spouse. And so the nursing home was the right place for him because of these circumstances.
Yes.
And what is the cost? What were the bills that you were getting for his care?
They were in the $7,000 to $9,000 range. It was a nightmare. I can't afford that. My whole income, which was great years back, was when my husband had purchased some rental property, which sadly is in a very severely hit by the economy, South Central.
Right.
And I have 5 tenants, of which they're not paying anymore, and I've lowered the rent, I've done it all. But we can't rent the properties, I can't sell the properties, and that's what I live on. So to have,
Okay, we were interrupted by the dog Stella, who's adorable, and we don't mind that there's a dog because we're in Sybil's house.
Oh, you're at
Sybil,
Stella's house.
I'm at Stella's house. Sybil, in retrospect, if you were able to get long-term care insurance, would you have gotten long-term care insurance?
I had actually a few years ago looked into it, and the problem then was I had this condition that developed with my eyes about 7 or 8 years ago. And when they saw that, they would not I wasn't qualified, and my husband was not qualified because he had Huntington's disease that ran in his family.
What is your opinion about pre-planning for the possibility of having to go into a nursing home and spend $7,000 or $8,000 a month for private pay?
If I had known 10 years ago what I know today, it's eventually going to pay off. It's not like your car insurance that you don't have an accident and you feel, oh, well, I had to have insurance. It's very different because sadly we don't know what's going to happen to us as we get older, and we have no guarantees. And I wish today that I had known then, because then it would have been affordable for us and would have been a major problem solver.
So let's update everybody on Maury's status. Was he evicted?
No, he was not evicted, actually. Susan had somebody come down from the state, is it the Department of Health?
Yes.
Or whatever, to come down for a hearing because they were threatening to, in their words, put him out on the street. They were calling me all kinds of names, telling me they were going to leave him at my doorstep, all of which, of course, is illegal. But
who won the hearings?
We did.
We won. We won the hearing.
But it was a scary time.
It was a scary time, and although it took about 7 months, or
I think it was more,
to get benefits, was he able to get those benefits?
he got them.
Okay, and
Yes.
they were retroactive.
They went all the way back to, I think, 30 days after he went in. Yes.
Okay, and I know that was a harrowing process for you.
It was. I was in a very bad place myself with my health, with his health, with the finances. Yeah.
That's a cell phone.
That's my cell. Between my dog and my cell phone, we do have noise going on.
Well, I thank you for your time. I thank you for your interview. And I think what I would like everybody to take out of this is don't think that these types of things can't happen to you. And it's really important to pre-plan. And it's really important to understand that if you need Medi-Cal in California, you need to contact a professional, whether that's me or somebody else, to help you before that process, in the initiation of the process, and in the follow-up of that process. In California, for Medi-Cal, there are 3 different aspects of trying to get benefits. One is the eligibility part of it, and that is whether or not I'm going to qualify. And then the second part of it is the share of cost. How much of our income is going to go to the nursing home for the share of cost, and potentially impoverish the spouse that's at home. And then the next part, the third prong of that, is the estate recovery. And so these are things that you really have to think about when you start this process. And if you know what you're doing, great. But if you don't, please do call a professional. It will save you months of anguish.
May I add something?
Yes.
Okay. If I had the chance to have done it over, yes, at the time I would have thought, 10 years ago I would have thought, this is not what I would need. But had I had the chance to do it over, it would have saved me not only the financial, but it was an incredibly harrowing emotional experience to have to go through. And at a time like that, you're very vulnerable. And it's very easy for other people to say to you, just fill out a form, it's no big deal. It is a big deal. It's all a big deal. Don't take chances with your finances, with your emotions, with your health. Just do it while you can. Really is. We do that with everything else. We do that with life insurance because we don't want our kids to have nothing. Well, we have to do it with our own lives too, so that we don't end up with nothing.
Sybil, thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.